Alright. So if anyone can hear me in chat, give me a thumbs up. All that good stuff. We're going to start here with live continuous coverage here of a ongoing little system or disturbance pushing into the Midwest region here and are prompting some tornado warnings. So before we go over everything, let's go over this one warning up here in Nebraska. This was just issued by the Weather Service, and we do have multiple trained spotters on this here. So I want to go ahead and go very local into this. So that is a tornado warning here going until 5:30. You can notice a lot of those brighter colors. That's really indicative of stronger rain or some hail in there. And if we look at rotation, that's very clearly as a day showing up along the Highway 32 region near Petersburg, or Pittsburgh, rather, and it's actually very tight gate-to-gate rotation that we always kind of talk about. So this is going away from the radar, right? And this is going towards, and kind of in the middle shows an area of rotation or where there could possibly be a tornado. Again, we have multiple chasers on the ground with this, and if there's anything, I'll be sure to let you guys know, but I wanted to start with that opposed to what we normally do, going over everything that we have. But at the moment, that is a active tornado warning that's in effect going until 5:30 Central for parts of Nebraska. But besides that, we really just have some severe storms ongoing. Now, I want to start with Kansas here. You guys are in a severe thunderstorm watch. That goes until 10 p.m. They're saying max winds up to about 80 miles per hour, which is not very unlikely with the kind of setup that we have here. So we're going to zoom on in, and you can see kind of from the I-70 corridor from Salina up to Manhattan, Kansas, you can really tell that this wind is starting to ramp up, and now this is a considerable threat for 70 mile per hour winds that are indicated by the Doppler radar here, and we'll go ahead and take a very single sight view here. And you can see those winds really pushing away from the storm and prompting some pretty gusty winds. So if I'm near Abilene to Chapman, all the way down to Topeka, I would say down the line, you need to be somewhat prepared for this as the line pushes on through. And again, if there's any other warnings with this down the line, we will be sure to keep you updated on that. But besides those cells, we have this little cluster that we've been keeping a very close eye on for the possible threat of a tornado, and bear with me here as the radar height, the beams that are shooting into the storm are rather high at the moment. We're not seeing super low into the storm, but nonetheless, what we look for is some brighter colors next to each other, and you can see a well-defined spinning mesocyclone, which is kind of the base of the storm there, and this is indicative that this is a pretty strong storm, and I'd go ahead and say that all of these storms are pretty strong here. If we can go and put on our storm strength product, if you see those very high colors, those bright pinks and whites, that shows that this is a very well-established storm and does have the possibility to produce all hazards, including tornadoes and large hail. So that's something that we're keeping an extremely close eye on, but besides that severe thunderstorm watch, we have a tornado watch, which did prompt this stream here, and that is going until 10 p.m., same as the last one, for a few tornadoes. Some could be intense. We're talking, EF2 plus, maybe some EF3s involved with that, so higher end, but this isn't a day where we're going to have multiple long-lived widespread tornadoes. It's just the fact that we could have one or two that'll cause some issues here, but nonetheless, this is something we're keeping a very close eye on. Now, the risk today, we don't have this graphic set up in our system here because it is not a super high risk day, but I am able to query that here. This is a slight risk, so a level 2 out of 5 risk, mainly for larger hail, but also some tornadoes cannot be entirely ruled out with it. This also goes all the way to North Dakota and parts of South Dakota there. So all of these areas will have the threat for some severe weather, and even down in Florida, we're tracking some severe storms as well. So anywhere that is having some severe weather, we will be sure to be on it. and tracking it live here on Spark. So let's go ahead and take a look at this severe storm that we were just watching. I'm mainly seeing a hail type threat with this at the moment. We're not seeing a whole lot on our shear tracker. Again, if this is in those reds to yellows, that would show that this is a lot of spin, but we're not getting a whole lot of that here, fortunately, at the moment. But there are some brighter colors here that shows us that there may be a little bit of rotation near the western community along State Highway 15. So if you're near there, just be on the lookout for some large hail and damaging winds. I really think that tornado threat is a bit low for right now. However, that could change down the line. I want to go check this storm right here over near Petersburg. It really is not moving a whole lot. Weather Service has it moving at about 30 miles per hour, but I would go ahead and say that this is moving a lot slower than is actually showing up there on the radar. So, kind of near north of Newman Grove, I'd be watching up towards the Battle Creek area. Omaha Metro is fine for now, but again, that could change as we go on throughout time here, and all hazards would be possible with that as well. So again, if you have any questions, just go ahead and throw them on the live chat. We'll go ahead and go over any and all of them here as we track the severe weather as we go into the nighttime hours. So not a lot of people involved with it, but of course this does include the Omaha Metro, which was hit by tornadoes few weeks ago. You guys are back under the gun, but at the moment, these are the supercells that we are watching that would be capable of all of those hazards, including some larger hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes, one of two being significant in nature here. So I want to go and put on the rainfall rate product because we could also see some isolated flash flooding. So if you're kind of along I-70, it's probably pouring rain on you here, about 4 inches an hour. Got 2 inches there, 3 inches. So overall, some higher end rainfall totals that we got to keep a very close eye on for that possibility of flash flooding. And even this one here, kind of near the Alexandria community, might be having the same issues. About 4-inch an hour rainfall rates we are watching there with that as well. So very active day ahead. But at the moment, we're just not really seeing a whole lot. We do have a tornado warning. That is in effect. It's going until 5:30 Central Daylight Time. If I had to be honest, I'm mainly seeing a hail threat with this, but we do have actual spotters that are observing a stronger mesocyclone with this. Let me try this product here. That is the rotation that we're tracking here, okay? Along 32, it's been there for the last little bit here. And I'm going to go and check some sources here to make sure this is not on the ground producing damage, and we're not really seeing that. Montana, you guys are in a severe thunderstorm watch now for a couple tornadoes being possible, 2-inch hail, and scattered gust up to 90 miles per hour being possible with that. Certainly enough to cause a fair amount of damage. 5:02 p.m., we had a rotating wall cloud on the supercell north of Newman Grove. So this is Newman Grove here. This is the storm, and a few trained meteorologists are actually on this, tracking it here along 32. Now, this has not produced anything, and this isn't a slam dunk tornado environment by any means, but if you do get a storm going, it could definitely cause some issues. So let's see here. Yep, tornado warning storm near Madison, Nebraska. That's the same storm we've been watching here. Kind of near the Newman Grove to Battle Creek, Nebraska area. Across there. So let's see what else we have. It's just very kind of slow to start here. We don't have anything super major. This is also a one-man show, so you're gonna have to bear with me a tiny bit, but understand if there is anything, we will be right on it as fast as humanly possible. That warning still is in effect until 5:30, mainly for parts of central Madison County, or west central Madison County, and southeastern Antelope County and northern Boone counties in Nebraska until 5:30. Weather Service was saying severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado 6 miles east of Parkersburg, moving northeast at 13 miles per hour. That's a new update. They're going to keep about the same text with it. On our velocity product, I'm not really seeing a whole lot. It seems like it kind of got a little more weak here compared to what it actually was. Kind of the way we're going to go about this here is that there is no active tornado warnings. We're going to go back to our automated feeds, but we will be able to cut in whenever there's any tornado or destructive warning. But at the moment, it just seems like this one is not really getting its act together too much. We can zoom in a little bit. That's where your rotation would be. Your reds are going away, greens towards, in the middle would be your possible tornadic circulation here, and I'm just not seeing anything rather slam dunk. We can check our shear rate, and this is as low as it actually gets here. It is very dark green, so I don't even think this is spinning really a whole lot here. We'll check this other storm. Looks like it has maybe a little more rotation. We'll check our velocity. And the winds are going towards and away. This doesn't mean this is an exact situation where we would have a possible tornado, but definitely some strong winds with it. And maybe a little bit of hail, which we can also see here. Maybe some severe hail. Probably some pennies to quarters falling from there. And then you have your significant wind pushing into northern portions of Kansas there. You guys are in a severe thunderstorm watch. That is going until, I believe, yeah, 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time. So here's that area. Could you get maybe a spin up little tornado out of it? Yeah, that's not completely out of the question, but I think the 70-mile-per-hour winds that are being forecasted with this are definitely of more concern. We can go ahead and yeah. So if I'm near Harrington or Woodbite, this is all south of I-70 to get your bearings straight. So this is west of 35, south of 70, near the Harrington community, near Woodbite. Can't rule out some 70-mile-per-hour winds, maybe 60. Again, the way radar works, this is looking a little bit up and towards the storm. We're not seeing directly at the surface, but if I'm anywhere near that area, I would definitely don't drive in this. This isn't like a tornado warning, but you don't want to get caught up because you're not going to be able to see much. It's going to be strong winds. That's how accidents happen. So if you can, pull over, wait for this to pass. This isn't going to be a 30-minute event. It's going to be a one-done type deal. So in Harrington, probably going to get those winds, and it's over 5 to 10 minutes later, and then all as happy as could ever be. But Topeka proper is fine, along with Kansas City. But as we go into those nighttime hours, that's going to bring more of a threat. They did go ahead and extend this warning. So if you are near Madison, north of there, you're now in a tornado warning. That does include not Battle Creek proper, but does include areas ahead of that does have parts of 45 and parts of 121 included in that. So we'll go ahead and put up the velocity. That's kind of where it is at the moment. If I had to be honest, this is very, very messy. Not really a whole lot with it here. We'll go ahead and pull a storm track, though, nonetheless. So it's going to go for the next 60 miles, and we'll go all the way to Norfolk here, moving at about 30. So Battle Creek, you're not in a warning, but as we enter the 6 o'clock hour, you're going to be included in that probably there. Norfolk at about 6:09, and then you have Hedar at about 6:12. I think that's a new mesocyclone forming. So I'm going to draw your attention over to Battle Creek. You guys are not in the warning, but that is rather concerning. So we might have multiple areas of rotation moving along here. So what I'm watching is this area here. I'm watching this area, which is the main warning, and also this area right here as well, as they all continue up to about this general area. So again, from our spotters, we're not getting any reports that this is exactly on the ground, but I wouldn't be surprised with time that a few of these are on the ground doing some damage here, unfortunately. And of course, if you have any questions, go ahead, put them in the live chat. And we'll be sure to go over those as best as I can here. But very close to having a tornado near Lindsay, Nebraska. So let me get my bearings straight and find where Lindsay is. Might be on this storm here. It's definitely one of these, but definitely could have a possible tornado. We're still seeing some rotation over near western into the Wilbur communities along 41, but maybe a little bit of some rotation there, but I'm not really seeing a whole lot with that. We'll zoom back in towards the north. These are our main areas that we are watching, keep in mind. Our main smack dab areas. Here's a new one north of Newman Grove. We are watching a rapidly rotating wall cloud. Or a wall cloud, rather. That's kind of near Newman Grove. So, I don't know if it's this one. If I was in Battle Creek, I would probably be in some sort of shelter. Just as a course of least regret, in case there is something. But at the moment, only one tornado warning that does include most of northwest Madison County, northeastern Antelope County, and northeastern Boone County in Nebraska. And again, this is northeastern Nebraska. There's no other tornado warnings to speak of. Again, if you're near the Kansas communities or Kansas area, northern along 70, you're getting some strong wind, 70 mile per hour likely, but no tornado threat at the moment. And then our next area would be southern Nebraska, south of 80 as it approaches Lincoln, for likely some stronger winds up to 60 miles per hour, but maybe a tornado or two as well. So let's zoom right back into here. You know, it is just super hard to tell. I mean, there's definitely about 3 areas of tornadic circulations. Battle Creek, I would definitely be in shelter, as of course of least regret. You guys are not in any sort of warning, let me make that clear, but from what I'm seeing, that's some pretty tight circulations there that could possibly produce a tornado with, you know, due time. So, what we're going to do, rather, is I'm going to look through some information here. Again, if you have any other questions, anyone in the chat here has any, drop them in there and we'll be sure to go over. And that's the new warning I was just talking about there that was likely going to be issued. So, new warning out for still Madison and Boone counties in Nebraska. And that is a potent area of circulation. So, we could possibly have 3 areas that'll possibly producing a tornado. I'm going to say all of these are likely going until 6 p.m. Or actually 5:45 rather for both of these warnings here. But can be extended with time if it does continue. So let's see. Make sure I'm not missing anything entirely here. Yeah, a few warnings. Nebraska, yeah. Let me just showing that we have some areas of circulation that we got to keep a very close eye on. But multiple little areas of rotation with this nonetheless. So, Again, tornado warning remains in effect until 5:45. What I have circled here are all of our little areas of rotation that we're keeping a very close eye on. Again, we don't have any reports of these being on the ground, but if you're south of Parkersburg, if you're north of Newman Grove, if you're in the Battle Creek community in Nebraska, these are all areas that need to be on alert here for a possible tornado. So that is all something that we're keeping a very close eye on. So, new radar update. It is definitely having a struggle here, but Battle Creek, I'm surprised you guys are not in some sort of warning. So, if I'm along 275, I'd probably be keeping a very close eye on this near the Battle Creek community. Uh, and also up here near Plainview, could have a little bit of something there as well. So here's the deal. If we don't have anything in about the next 5-10 minutes, and if these start to die down a little bit, we're going to go back to more of some automation here with the live radar, but we're just not having a lot of clear rotation at the moment, fortunately, but of course that could change with time. We just got to keep a very close eye on it. Again, near the Petersburg area, that is the first region I'd be watching, and then up to Highway 32, and ultimately Battle Creek. Those are the three areas I'm keeping a extremely close eye on here as we go on throughout time. We'll go back to the live Doppler radar, check out the Salina area, and Manhattan, Kansas. You guys are now in a 60-mile-per-hour warning. Still some gusty winds, but not a whole lot going on with that. I'm not buying that all too much. So, again, if you're just joining here, what we have at the moment, we're tracking a slight risk of severe weather across portions of the Midwest here. We already have 2 tornado warnings on the board as of about 5:30 p.m., and those are really for northern Nebraska. Omaha Metro is not included in anything, but we do have some severe weather towards the south. That's mainly near the I-80 area south of there, so kind of near the Hebron and Lincoln cities there, but also across Kansas, we're watching some severe weather, as you guys are in a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time, and this current severe warning includes parts of Harrington, Clay City, Manhattan, those regions there. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead, look through some information, and see some stuff here. I'm going to wait for one more radar scan, and I'm going to set up our automated view here so you guys can still see the live Doppler radar, but if there is anything, we will be definitely right back on and keeping a very close eye on it and keeping you apprised of everything. So let me open this back up. I accidentally closed something here. So bear with me. There we go. Get that back up there. So again, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and throw them in the YouTube chat. We're keeping a very close eye on this. Let me make sure our radar data is showing here. And we're looking at Kansas. There are some stronger winds with this. So Junction City, this is the area we just called out a little bit ago for some gusty winds. 60 mile per hour, 40 miles per hour, maybe another 60 mile per hour wind report there. So those are all areas we got to keep a very, very close eye on as we move on throughout time. I think mainly a hail type risk with everything we're watching. Let's go back to here, and yeah, Petersburg up to Newman Grove. Those are kind of the regions I'm keeping a very close eye on. But I think this rotation has really deteriorated. Uh, if you were watching a little bit ago, everything looked rather organized, right? It was some clear rotation. Your colors were very close to each other. But now this is just all of more of a kind of messier. So if you're still in portions of uh, Madison County, if you're in portions of Antelope County, if you're in portions of Boone County, go to your safe room. What we tell everyone to do is to duck. Remember to duck. So that is downstairs, under something, center of the house, and away from windows. So when you duck, that lowers your chance of being hurt if a tornado was to impact you. So remember those kind of keywords there. You want to be downstairs, lowest room, away from windows, under something, a mattress, really anything, even a pot. It may sound silly, but that can really protect your life if something occurs. And then center of the house. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and again, away from windows. And I'm going to say that away from windows part will even occur if you are in a severe thunderstorm warning. We just want to keep everyone safe with this, of course. But again, we're watching everything at the moment. And we're just not seeing a whole lot. If you're south of Petersburg, if you're north of Newman Grove, there is a little bit of rotation, but this is definitely not as strong as when we came on air here. So, south of Battle Creek, we're watching some very broad rotation. Some rotation still north of Newman Grove, and some south of the Petersburg communities there, but there's just not a whole lot to go over here. Fortunately, and this is in a very high risk type day across the region here, which is good. That is exactly what we like to see with this. And of course, if there is anything else, we'll definitely keep you updated too. Battle Creek, some rotation, also near Petersburg. We'll go ahead and pull up our shear tracker, and you can see that the colors are very weak if you look at the scale at the top here. So it's weak to strong to extreme. We're in about this level here. So nothing all that strong, which is good, but that could definitely change in the matter of time, and that's something that we got to keep a close eye on. So, if we have any last questions until we take a little break here and wait for stuff to ramp up a little bit more, we will take those questions, of course. Anything from locations to what I will see at my house, all of that good stuff, we will be able to answer here. So let me go ahead and do this real quick. Let's see which one. We'll change this one. Let's do... And I'm just getting our break scene set up here so you guys can actually still see the Doppler radar and warnings as they come in. Because at the moment, we're just not having a whole lot. And this was exactly how today was forecast. This isn't a widespread significant weather event, right? But you can still get some tornadoes, which is something that we like everyone to kind of prepare for, right? And, be able to get those warnings. So let me make sure this is lined up here. Let's go ahead and lock that into place. You guys are seeing some behind the scenes stuff here. But I think we are set up for break. So the Weather Service in Omaha has updated the warning. They're still continuing this one until 5:45 p.m., hail up to about 2 inches, and maybe a tornado, possibly. But new update on the radar, and I'm just not really seeing a whole lot. There's a little bit of rotation here, a little bit near Petersburg, but this isn't anything like the last event, for example, that we had in Omaha, where we had that EF4 tornado that pushed on through. It is nothing near that, or to that level, rather. But, if there is anything, we'll be sure to let you know of that. We're going to wait for one more scan, and then we are going to go to break here while I set this up. So, let me go and do this here real quick. So again, this is all in northern Nebraska that we're watching here. There is a slight risk of severe weather in effect for most of the Midwest, actually. We'll go ahead and pull that up here. We don't have the scene set up for that because we weren't really exactly prepared for this. But nonetheless, if you're in that yellow area, that is a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather, including some tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds, kind of in that risk area. But, you know, we're not seeing a whole lot at the moment, which is good. But understand that the environment is a bit favorable for this. So, you know, don't let your guard down. Make sure to, you know, keep spark weather in the background. And if there is anything, we will be sure to keep you advised with it. Let's go ahead and make sure that's lined up a little bit here. Again, you guys are seeing some behind the scenes stuff here. You know, normally we'd have this all prepared, but we thought that everyone should be kind of advised of this risk. You know, it's a very discrete type risk. It is not by far a major tornado outbreak, but it could still produce some damage if your house gets a, you know, tornado or some damaging winds, and that's exactly why we are tracking this. That's a new tornado warning out here, so let's go look at that real quick. That's going to be near the Craigton community in Plainview. So, if you know anyone near Plainview, you need to seek shelter. Lowest level, interior room. Remember to duck. That is the terminology we're going to be using here for this. And let me make sure that this is actually wanting to work for me. There we go. So near Brunswick, yeah, there's a little bit of rotation. So they're going to have that going until about 6:15. So Plainview, New Brunswick, or Brunswick rather, and then Osmond. Those are the areas we're watching, along with the ones towards the south. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if they just cancel these. You're still in a warning, it is still in effect, but the risk is just so low with it at the moment. They're just really into more of a clustered mode, and that's the issue with the cell. Storms need that clear inflow into the storm, right? They want to be discrete and isolated, but when they're all clustered together, it is just super hard to get a, real tornado with this. So that's the good thing, but, it is just really a lot harder to have that occur here. Let's zoom back in here. We'll go put on the rotation tracker and rather weak. That is a new tornado warning, or updated one. Battle Creek, you guys are still not included in this. We've been mentioning you a lot here, but it is just so weak that I think the threat is actually going down a little bit with this specific cell. However, we could definitely see some more here in a little bit with due time. So don't let your guard down, definitely, but it's not looking as bad as it once was, luckily. So again, any questions, we will be willing to take those here. I'm just trying to find There we go. That's what I was looking for here. Okay, so here's the deal, guys. We don't have really a whole lot going on at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be watching radar very closely here. If there is any other warnings that are confirmed, or if there are destructive warnings, we will be right back on here tracking it. But at the moment, we're going to put you in break here. And like I said a second ago, if there is anything that I think you guys should know to keep you all safe here, we will be right back with it, giving you live continuous coverage. But at the moment, it is just a lot below severe limits, and there's no point to exactly be live with this, which is good. But again, just not really a whole lot going on there. Okay, so I think we have our other source set up here. So last look at the radar before we go into break here. 3 tornado warnings in effect. That includes the Petersburg up to Battle Creek communities. If we look on our rotation tracker, little bit here, maybe starting to strengthen a tiny bit. That's over the Petersburg community along Highway 32. There's also some kind of rotating storms near Battle Creek and a bit towards the west of there, but that has since weakened. And then our newest tornado warning going until 6:15, that includes areas south of Brunswick and south of the Plains View communities. And we'll go to our live satellite and radar here to show you. This is the new severe thunderstorm watch that includes parts of Montana here. So that's across a lot of 94, that includes parts of Glasgow, rather, and Jordan, those areas, but really there's not a whole lot going on with that as well. And then here's our other severe thunderstorm watch for parts of South Dakota. That is going until 10 p.m. as well for 2-inch hail and 75-mile-per-hour winds. So, on that note, we're going to send you guys to break, and we'll see you when we have a new warning. All right, we are back here. Um, Looks like we have a new tornado warning, and let me see. Okay, you guys shouldn't be able to hear that in theory. There we go. Okay, so new tornado warning is out here. This is going to be a confirmed tornado warning. So we have storm spotters that are observing this. This is the one that we said before. Didn't look like it had a whole lot going with it here. But nonetheless, this is confirmed by spotters on the ground. This is going to be kind of south of the Battle Creek area, along mainly highway. We can actually draw the highways out here. That'd make it a lot easier on me. So State Highway 121 and State Highway 275. You have State Highway 32 here, US Highway 81, State Highway 24. All of those areas we're watching here. And also you have 81 that continues up near here. Let's go and draw these on. So we're watching a few areas of circulation here. So our first one, which is a confirmed tornado, 6:15. This is going until for portions of Battle Creek, the actual county. This is only in northwestern Madison County. So Boone County, you're no longer in this, and you're no longer included in the warning. However, the one towards your south, that's going to include Boone County and Madison and Antelope County. And then the ones towards the north, which also has a nice area of circulation, is going to include parts of Madison, Wayne, Pierce, and Staten County. So those are the regions that we're kind of watching here and kind of keeping a close eye on. So if I'm in Norfolk, if I'm along 275, I'm keeping a very close eye on this. There's a possible tornado on the ground with it that is moving up toward the Hopkins area and the Hadar area. So if you're near those regions, definitely take your tornado precautions. If you're in any of these warnings, what do you do? Well, the best thing that we recommend everyone do is to duck. So that stands for downstairs, so you don't want to be above anything. You want to be lowest level, under something. So that is a mattress. That is something that can protect you from possible flying debris, or if your home is hit by a tornado. And then center of the house. So we want you kind of put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and then keep away from windows. So if you duck, you have a better chance of, possibly surviving a tornado. God forbid it does happen. So let's go back over to the radar here. Let's see if we have any questions. I'm watching from the Fairmont, Nebraska area. Let me see here. I don't think Fairmont is currently in anything. I'd have to find where that is exactly here. Let's see. Fairmont. I'm going to pull that up in 1 second here. Bear with me, but we'll go ahead and go over that. We do have a few tornado warnings in effect, though. So Battle Creek, possible tornado on the ground here. We don't have anything or any word that it is doing damage, but it was a well-defined tornado kind of along State Highway 121 here. Let me see. Fairmont's going to be near the Omaha Metro. So let's go ahead and look at that real quick here. So Omaha area, general region, you guys have nothing going on at this current moment. However, I do want to go ahead and emphasize that, anyone near this region, you guys have a tornado watch. So this red shaded area, anyone inside of it, from Sioux City to Sioux Falls to all of the Omaha Metro to most of Grand Isle, or Grand Island rather, all the way down to about the Beatrice and Frankfort areas. You guys are in a tornado watch until 10 p.m. for some hail, damaging winds, and of course a few tornadoes, and then more towards the south in the Kansas areas. That is a severe thunderstorm watch, and that is going in effect until 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time for winds up to 80 miles per hour, some hail, and some damaging winds as well. So let's go back to these tornado warnings. Again, this tornado right here, so this exact storm south of Battle Creek is on the ground. We can go check our debris tracker product. And again, what we're looking for with this is a drop in the color. So you can see up here on your key that anything in these blues to very dark purples are considered possible tornado debris. And we're not seeing that. That's not to say that it's not on the ground, since we have multiple reports that this is on the ground doing damage. But there's kind of a train of these circulations. So I'm watching right here, north of Newman Grove. I'm watching kind of here near the Battle Creek area. This tornado is on the ground doing damage that we have from spotters near Battle Creek. And then up near the Norfolk community up there producing some damage. So that's all of what we're watching, and we're seeing some incredible footage going on from this tornado near Battle Creek into the Norfolk area there. So definitely, I'm trying to see if this is a confirmed report. So kind of near Battle Creek, we'll zoom all the way in here. So near 275 along the Highway 21 area. That's very closely what we're watching here near Battle Creek. This is a confirmed tornado on the ground. There's a lot of polygons here, so don't get completely caught up in them. But again, near the 6:30 area, or 6:30 time frame is when this is going to expire. Again, we're still seeing reports that this is on the ground doing damage. Unfortunately, watching this area, yep. Wow. So near the Emmerich, Nebraska area at 5:50. So this was about 10 minutes ago. I unfortunately can't show it, but this was a well-defined cone-type tornado that was on the ground doing damage. So, you can't really stress it enough if you are near the Battle Creek community. So this is State Highway 121. If you're near there, you're going to want to duck, of course. Which, what that means is, under something, right? So whether that be under a table, sturdy piece of furniture, or even getting a mattress or something, that is what we want you to do. We want you to be downstairs. You don't go up, you go down. And you want to be in the center of the house. You want to be away from windows, indoors. And of course, you want to keep away from windows as well. You don't want to be, very close to windows. And this can even be said for a severe thunderstorm warnings. You would be actually surprised the amount of people that are near windows and get injured each year because they are very close to it. So doing all of these can mitigate injury, and of course, it's just good overall to do that. So let's go back to live Doppler radar here. You can see kind of an overview for all of the Nebraska area, or most of the eastern Nebraska area. Few severe thunderstorm warnings, few tornado warnings. These have mainly been towards the northern type regions here. So a few areas I'm watching is near the Plainview area, near Brunswick. A little isolated discrete cell that was doing a little something there. This is mainly just some broad rotation, right? Not really a whole lot going on with it. So broad rotation. If you're near this area though, if you got the WEA, wireless emergency alert, you want to be in below shelter, or in shelter rather, can't really speak. Basement is preferred, but if you can't, a lot of these tornadoes, you'll be just fine if you are in an interior room away from windows. That's kind of the main thing with all of this here. And then, of course, you have this kind of conga line of tornadoes, you could say, from Newman Grove. These are not reported to be on the ground, all the way up to Battle Creek, which was on the ground, and then all the way over to the Norfolk to Hopkins area there. And then not just that, if you're in the Kansas area along I-70, you're probably hearing those winds ramping up a little bit there. But one thing that is showing me that this is weakening for our friends over in Kansas is something called the outflow boundary. So basically, this is just the rain cold air being pushed ahead of the storm. And I actually put this on, I put our gate filter a lot down. This is basically just showing a lot more of the clutter on the radar. But this little line here, okay, is outflow winds. The thunderstorm is pushing its outflow forward, which in turn is making these winds a lot more weak here. So you remember before at the start of the stream we were talking about 70 near 80 mile per hour winds. Well, actually this is a lot more like 60 mile per hour winds, because that those winds, those outflow winds, are pushing ahead of the storms and are making this in turn a lot more weak. So that's something that we like to see here. Of course, we'll go put that back on this mode here. Let's go back to the Omaha radar site, and you can really see that this is turning into more of a line here. And I wouldn't be surprised to see a flash flood warning issued, something like that here. This is not, exactly what it's going to look like, but maybe some ponding on the roads. We are talking a lot about tornadoes rather, but a lot of people, die in their car because they drive through flooded roads. So remember, if you see flooded roads, don't drive through it. You don't know how deep the water is and all of that good stuff. We say it all the time, but people still do it. These rainfall rates are super heavy, or heavy rather, and this is enough to cause flash flooding. You have 2 inches an hour, 3 inch, another 3 inch, 3 inch, 1 inch. So all of this combined will lead to, unfortunately, some issues there. So if you have any questions, anything like that, go ahead and make sure to leave them in the chat here. We'll go ahead and be sure to go over those. Not seeing a whole lot at the moment, but again, if you're near the Omaha metro area, if you're near Fremont, if you're near Westport, or West Point rather, there's really not a whole lot to go over, except the fact that you're going to get some gusty winds here in a little bit, and that could be said for this entire kind of complex of storms. Those are leading to some issues, unfortunately, here. So we're watching this little discrete supercell. I'm not seeing much in terms of rotation with this here, fortunately, but maybe right here there's a little bit. I'm not super confident enough to call that rotation. Definitely near the Newman Grove area, near Battle Creek, near Norfolk, those regions. We're watching very closely here. I think mainly if I'm near this area, I'm watching for some large hail. Go ahead and pull on the hail tracker, and yeah, about 2 inches, maybe 1 inch, 0.8 inch. So mainly some quarters to dimes probably falling from the sky here. That's enough to cause very tiny dents in cars, but we're not talking about nothing so large that it's going to start, breaking windows, fortunately there. So definitely something that we are watching. I'm not getting any more reports that this is on the ground, which is very good, of course. Let me go ahead and check a few more sources. If I get a little bit quiet here, that's because we're trying to get you guys the latest information. What we know at the moment is at Battle Creek. I'm going to include you guys in this. You're not officially in it, but if I'm in Battle Creek, I would be treating this as a tornado on the ground. Going to your safe room, that is lowest level, interior room, away from windows. Whole idea behind this, you want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. I don't think this is a, slam dunk tornado. This isn't going to, cause catastrophic damage, but it's definitely something where you don't want to be caught off guard, and having the earliest alert that you can possibly get that we are giving you can be very beneficial for something like that, of course. So, let's go ahead and see. Yeah, I'm not really seeing a whole lot with that. If you're in the northern Kansas area, not seeing too many questions about that, but you guys are also included in a warning here. We're going to pull that up, SatRad. So kind of near, we're not zooming in that far, near the Manhattan area, over towards the I-70 corridor. This isn't like the event we had 3 days ago where it was 80-mile-per-hour winds pushing into the metro, but it is definitely some gustier winds where you don't want to be out and about with this. Let it pass through, and then after that, your threat is going to significantly decrease with time there. So, and also, we have anyone watching from the Montana area. Uh, this is going until 10 p.m. 2-inch hail, 90-mile-per-hour winds they're going with, but I don't think we're going to get just that high, fortunately. And then the South Dakota area near the Faith, Rapid City, Buffalo, all of those regions across 90 we're watching and keeping a very close eye on, of course. So let's zoom on in here. So kind of near the Norfolk area we're still watching. Near Battle Creek, we've said this about 20 times, but we have new people circulating, so we want to give everyone the alert here. It's kind of near the Norfolk region, kind of near Battle Creek, kind of near Newman Grove. These are the same areas we've been watching. Again, if you are in the area, you want to be sure to be in the lowest level interior room. That's always the best thing or best case scenario to be doing with this, of course. Let's see. Not seeing a whole lot of questions, which is if anyone has anything, be sure to let us know. We'll be sure to go over those. I want to check our shear tracker. This basically is just a easier way for you to see if there's a lot of rotation with this, and by far our top area we've been watching with all these colors flashing is the possibility of a tornado near Battle Creek. I think they're going to put this down to radar, Doppler radar indicated, because on social media, I'm not seeing a whole lot. It looks like this was a smaller tornado in a field, which is always good. Kind of a beautiful tornado. And it doesn't look like it hit any houses or anything, which is, even more of a plus with this as well. Yeah, not seeing a whole lot. That was that tornado there. So still watching near the Norfolk area, again near the Battle Creek, maybe some tornadic rotation. Again, this isn't anything you guys haven't seen before, but nonetheless it is to the level where you're going to want to be taking shelter with this. If you get the alert on your phone, as a course of least regret, take shelter. We're getting into the season where the way our troughs are set up, this area is going to see a lot more severe weather. So it's better if you guys have that plan of action and know what to do during a tornado compared to, not knowing at all. And there's a very simple kind of procedure that you guys can take if you're in a warning, and that is essentially ducking. So that is downstairs, okay? You don't go up, you go down. Under something, get a mattress, get under sturdy furniture, sturdy desk or something. And center of the house, you don't want to be in a garage. You don't want to be on an outside wall. You want to be center room, bathroom, hallway, closet preferred, and away from windows. If it has windows, you are near the outside. You want to be near the center of that room. And of course, that would help you from a possible tornado. So, I'm going to go ahead and pull up another view here. This is more of a messier Doppler view here. Let me turn that off. And what we're watching here is mainly just a clustered line of tornadoes there. You can see up towards the north in our plane view, there's a little something. Our velocity mode is a lot more messy, but what we're watching in this clustered mess, I'm going to turn off the tornado warnings because they're just very messy, but nonetheless, what we're watching in terms of rotation is right about, if it lets me move this here, is right about here. So kind of up near the Battle Creek community we're watching, but to be honest with you, there's not really a whole lot. And also near the Norfolk community as well, we're watching very closely. So we'll go back to our actual Doppler radar view. And guys, I'm not really seeing a whole lot. There is a new warning till 7 p.m. here, but, you know, these storms, it looks like they're going into more of a cluster type mode. Remember, these storms want to be discrete. They want to be in their own environment, but everything is just kind of taking each other's juice, you could say, and kind of limiting the threat here just a little bit. So I think what we're going to do here, if no one has any other questions, we're going to take a little break, get some more information, and if there is anything else, we will be right back on here. But at the moment, all of these have lifted. We still have tornado warnings in effect, but there's just nothing that is to that level of criteria. I think by far, if I'm north of Newman Grove and if I'm in the Norfolk area, I am definitely taking shelter, rather. And there's also a flash flood warning that I was mentioning before that was kind of probably, rather, going to be issued. So we're going to take a break. If there's anything else, we'll be right back here with more information. All right, we are back for a little quick update here. Not much has changed. It is still 6:45 Central on your Saturday afternoon. We are tracking some severe weather across the Midwest here. We're going to go ahead and get right into the warnings of what we have at the moment. To be honest with you, not a whole lot. We do have two tornado warnings that are in effect. One towards the north, that is going until 7:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. We did have some reports, maybe a little funnel cloud with it here. We'll go ahead and put on our velocity mode, and you can see that those colors are not very tight. So maybe near Pillager, but to be honest, this isn't really anything screaming that there is a probable tornado on the ground with it. And we do have another one that looks a little more severe towards the south here, near the Leah area and near the Creston communities. This is ultimately along 91 and along 32. Those are the highways that are involved with this. And we're going to stick with this for a little bit since it looks like it's pulling in some of that warm, moist air into the storm that could possibly produce something here in a little bit. We'll check our shear tracker, and I'm not really seeing a whole lot with that at the moment, which is very, very good. So let's go ahead and see here. I don't see a whole lot of questions in the chat here, but if you do, or if you guys rather do have anything, be sure to leave them in there, and we'll go over them as soon as possible. But real quick, I do want to go over some of the rain totals that we have had. So understand that, these storms have been some efficient rainfall producers, especially over the Norfolk communities. I'll go ahead and query our flash flood warnings here. There's about two in effect that I mentioned were probably going to be issued here, and you can see 4 inches, maybe 2 inches, 3 inches, kind of across the board about 1 inch that have fallen here. So definitely some flash flood issues that we're watching, but ultimately that leaves us with a tornado warning that is in effect here. And let me see if I can do this. We'll go over to here. And we'll put on the debris tracker. So again, if this was a actual tornado on the ground, you'd be looking for these lighter colors, a drop in the correlation coefficient. What this is essentially doing is saying that this is not all uniform rain. There's little anomalies in there. There's maybe some bricks, some pieces of houses, some logs, some wood, even cars that are getting lofted that are showing up on radar, and that gives you a drop in the correlation coefficient here. But fortunately, we're not seeing anything like that, but I still think that these storms are very strong. This is our storm strength product that when you see those very high white colors, that means that this is a very strong updraft in the storm, which basically just shows that this is able to produce multiple severe hazards, including some tornadoes here. So that is something that we're watching as well. And also, I wouldn't rule out some hail. And here you go. This is near Humphrey. We've covered this area a few times here near Creston. Look at that. Maybe upwards to 2 inches to 3 inches. That's entering our damaging hail category. So that'll definitely cause you some issues here, of course. So, kind of across the board, we are watching some tornadoes that are still possibly spawning towards northern Nebraska, but I'm going to be honest with you guys that as this enters more of a cluster type mode and as we lose that daytime heating, I think you guys will definitely start to have issues in terms of damaging wind and flooding. I think our tornado threat is going down a little bit. When this watch was issued, the Storm Prediction Center in Norman was thinking more so the fact that we could possibly have a few significant tornadoes. Let me find their actual wording here. It was a few tornadoes and a couple intense possible. Now I think this is more so a few tornadoes shorter lived being possible, but nonetheless, damaging winds as you go towards the Norfolk area to Wayne, down to Pillager, down to Madison, all the way up to Pierce. But mainly flooding and some hail, but also a few tornado warnings. This is going until 7:15, and then this one is also going until 7 p.m. or 15 p.m. rather, for some damaging wind gusts being kind of possible with this here. So near the Leah to Clarkson area, those are the areas that we're watching, of course, and I think that was a new tornado warning that was issued. It's going to probably be for one of these cells. This one hasn't been upgraded. They're still going, and it's this one right here. For parts of Madison, rather, south of Battle Creek. So Battle Creek, you guys are done for right now. But mainly along all of 32, there's a light bit of rotation that we're watching here. I think some storm spotters are reporting some possible funnel clouds here. You can see this was a train spotter reported a funnel cloud that was at 625. Another one reported a tornado on the ground 4 miles south-southwest of Battle Creek. That was at 550. So this was this kind of line of storms producing tornadoes. This is really the newest one, and we're not seeing a whole lot that shows us that we're possibly getting those tornadoes. We'll check our rotation tracker. I think by far Clarkson is the one that we're going to be focusing our attention on here. We'll go back over to our storm relative velocity product. Definitely seeing where our rotation would be right about here. So if you know anyone in this area, or if you are in this area, you're going to need to seek some more substantial structure to protect yourself from flying debris, of course. That's kind of the main idea with everything, and that's what we would prefer you guys to do here. So again, what we tell you to do in these situations is to, first of all, duck. What does that mean? Downstairs, under something, center of the house, away from windows. So, you know, you go down, you don't go up, you're under something, so a workbench, a sturdy structure, grabbing a mattress, putting it over you in the center of the house and away from windows. If you can see a window in your safe room, that is not a safe room, and you need to put more walls, rather, between you and the outside as possible. So that's kind of the general gist with it all that we try to do here. Around there, and yeah, that is a lot of rainfall that has fallen. I'm seeing a few reports of flash flooding that is going across the region here, so definitely some issues. You know, if you are kind of near the region, I'd make sure. Let's see. So let's see here, kind of looking at some more information, so I'm a little bit quiet here. Yeah. So definitely near the Leah area, I'm watching for the main threat of some severe weather. But besides that, we have 3 tornado warnings. We're probably going to go back to more of a automated mode here because there's just not a whole lot. The floor was there to have more of some severe weather, but luckily we just haven't got to that entire point there. But again, if there's anything else that you know, we see, we will be sure to keep you apprised of that. But at the moment, we're not seeing a whole lot. Tornado warnings remain in effect, and a tornado watch remains in effect until 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time.